Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here with a wig review for you in partnership with name brand wigs. I'm here to show you a brand new John Renau style called Kelly in the color Laguna Blonde. It's what I have on my head. If you want to know more about this super cute brand new style, then stick around. I'll tell you all about her. I am super excited, you guys. I put this wig on my head and immediately fell in love. This is such a cute style. So this is Kelly, just released, and the color is Laguna Blonde. Let me tell you the code for that. It is FS24/102S12. And that's a lot of numbers. That's Laguna Blonde. Let's take a look at the tag. And then it's in the Kelly style, which is brand new. So, first of all, I want to thank Name Brand Wigs because they did send me Kelly so that I could show her to all of you guys. I'm so blessed and grateful to have a partnership with Name Brand Wigs so that I can try some of these styles. It just helps so much to be able to show wigs on lots of different people, and it helps me to answer questions. I get so many questions from my wig sisters about wigs and my opinion on things and how this color compares to that color. So every time I get a chance to try something new, it's so awesome and thrilling. So thank you, Name Brand Wigs. You guys have no idea how much you mean to me and this community with all of your support with sending wigs out to reviewers. It is fantastic. All right, you guys, let's take a look at this from all sides, and then I'm going to tell you my impressions and we'll study her up close. This is a darling wig. I really like this style a lot. Now, Kelly has a full mono top, so you can part this one anywhere you want to on the top. It does come with a pre-parted sort of left side going to the right part, but you can change that if you want to. And then she has these just beautiful kind of curls on the bottom. It's almost like you took a curling iron and you started the curl partway down, and then you didn't let it cool fully. As soon as you took out sort of the spiral, you went like this. So what you wound up with was just a more of a relaxed wave, and a lot of it's more at the bottom. There really is no curl in this bang section here. There are no bangs, but you know, this front section here. So really just all throughout here. Just a really casual, or maybe it's like day 2 curls if people who kind of curl their hair and are blessed enough with hair that they don't have to wash every day like I had to when my hair was falling out. And so maybe it's more relaxed on day 2. That's what this reminds me of. It's just a super fun casual style, nice shoulder length casual style, really darling. And as far as density goes and permatease, this is, I would say it's a moderate to low density. So I just recently reviewed a new wig by Raquel Welch, and that one I would say is a moderate to high density. So this one's more, it's not low density, but it's also not like moderate, and it doesn't feel like a ton of hair. So I would say sort of moderate to low. When I do this, I can tell I'm just not getting like the heavy lift that I'll get from a more high density wig. And as far as permatease goes, there is some, but it's really minimal, and I think it's appropriate and kind of needed because this style then has just a little bit of body to it without being super poofy. So there's really no permatease up here, so I'm getting no real poof up here. But I do feel permatease on the sides when I do this. It's not super pillowy, but it's there. There's some permatease on the sides, and then just a little bit of permatease up here. Probably more on the sides than on the top. So it gives the overall impression of being a little bit of a rounded look. It's a little bit fuller on the sides. But I will tell you guys, I have a very round face. I'm not a skinny girl. And sometimes wigs that are heavier on the sides aren't flattering, at least to my own eyes. And I feel like it makes me wider than I want to be. I'm already wider than I want to be. I don't get that sense from this one though. I really think this is just a beautiful amount of everything. A beautiful amount of hair, a beautiful amount of permatease, a beautiful amount of curl, just for like a casual everyday look. That's what this really makes me think of. Just a kind of casual everyday, you look like you maybe took some time, but not a ton of time. And that's what I really love about this style. It's just really great. Really, really great. Now, this one does have a lace front, so let's take a look at that lace front. So we've got some, you know, rooting. So there's a little bit of dark knots here, but not terrible. The lace on here doesn't really blend in with my skin super well. I usually end up trimming my Jon Renau lace wigs if I keep a wig from Jon Renau, then I usually end up trimming just to give it a little bit less obvious line of demarcation. Their lace is a little bit of a thicker, more substantial lace, and I can find that that can be a little bit visible. So I trim it sometimes, and I will tell you that it's really easy, and I have a Tip Tuesday showing how to do that. So if that's ever a concern of yours, keep in mind that there are things that you can do. Now, there are a little bit of dark knots here. I will just tell you guys, Jon Renau doesn't make my favorite lace fronts. I don't think they're as undetectable as some other brands. And so what I would do with this one is I'd probably just put a little bit of face powder on those knots just to blend them out a little bit, blur them a little bit. Really easy to do. I have a Tip Tuesday on that as well. And so just keep that in mind. Not all wigs are the same, and some lace fronts are different than others, and we all have different tolerance of what we appreciate with these things. So I'm just going to be honest with you guys about my own opinion. I'm not trying to disparage this brand or anything like that. I just know that if I'm going to get a Jon Renau wig with a rooting, I'm probably going to need to do a little something with that lace front, whereas if I get a Raquel Welch wig with rooting, I'm probably not going to need to do anything with that one because they bring all their highlights to the front and their lace fronts are just different. So that's just my 2 cents on that. These fibers are on the dry side. I do find Jon Renau fibers to be a little bit on the dry side, not as realistic feeling as some other brands. So if you were to love this style and you were to find the right color for you and the right, a good price, just keep in mind that their fibers don't feel the same as Gabor fibers to me, or for sure not Raquel Welch Heat Friendly. They're completely different. And I actually just reviewed a Raquel Welch Heat Friendly just before this one. I'm trying to get a couple of reviews filmed, and feeling this one from going from that one to this one, really you can tell. Now, you can't see these things. I don't think that the wig looks fake. I don't think it looks unrealistic. That isn't what I'm saying, but I'm trying to set your expectations so that when you get a wig like this, you kind of know what to expect and that you're not disappointed. A lot of times what we feel on our wigs doesn't translate across to what we see on the wigs. So you just have to, as you progress in this journey, you will start to learn these things and you will start to figure it out. But in the beginning, it can be a little difficult. I would say these fibers are a little bit more substantial, a little bit thicker. They're not super light and airy and wispy, and they feel on the drier side. That can sometimes give it a little bit more of a realistic look than a super silky wig, but just keep that in mind. And sometimes I can find, because of that, Jon Renau wigs will start to look a little bit more frizzy, a little bit quicker because of the dryness of those fibers. I don't know that this one's going to be a terrible problem because it doesn't have a ton of curl. And so just, sometimes you just need to use a little bit more product on some wigs than the other. And this one just might need a little bit more Simply Stylin' or some sort of conditioning spray to sort of keep these from getting too dry, I would say. I hope I didn't just put my foot in my mouth with all of that. I don't know. Sometimes I just talk, but I'm always keeping in mind that I have a lot of new wig wearers watching these videos, and you guys need all the help you can get. And so I just try to give you my own personal sort of thoughts and experience on these things. Take what you like and leave the rest, right? Okay, let me show you this cap. So we have a monofilament. That's where I said you can part it anywhere you want up here. You've got the lace front like I showed you. You've got the bendable ear tabs. They have actually a lot of hair sewn in on these ear tabs, and so that's going to give you a lot of more realistic coverage at the side, which we'll take a look at the coverage on me when I put the cap back on. No extended nape here, and Velcro adjusters. It's a very kind of minimalist cap. I think it's going to be relatively cool if you're not someone who is comfortable wearing really short wigs in the summer ever. Then I usually recommend shorter wigs, lighter density wigs, less permatease wigs in the summer when it's going to be hot. And some people just aren't there. They can't get there with the short wigs. So something like this one, if you really need some length, I think this one is going to be fairly cool because the permatease is light. The fiber hair density isn't super heavy, and then you don't have like that extended nape, and any little extra cap feature on a wig is going to just add more to the cap, possibly more bulk and more coverage, which could make you a little bit warm. So I think this is a super comfortable cap. It fits very true to average. It fits me like all other John Renau wigs I've tried. There's extra cap up here, so there is definitely room to grow. I don't feel like there's a cone head with this one though. Sometimes I do, and maybe because there's just not a lot of permatease up here. And the coverage I get on this is really good. And part of that is because of the way that they sewed the hair in. So John Renau doesn't often cover me right here. I usually get... You can see my bio hair there because I have a little bit of a low hairline right at the temple. But because they sewed all that hair in there, it's really going to give me good coverage. So I can still tuck and still get some decent coverage there because of the way that they sewed the hair in. So that's also something that you'll learn, how wigs fit you over time. So this one is definitely tuckable. Let me make sure these ear tabs are in the right place. So it's definitely tuckable. But whether, and actually, to be honest with you, it's not as tuckable as some wigs. As I'm trying to tuck it, it is tuckable, but these ear tabs are very far forward. So I find that I need to move them a little bit and then get the hair tucked and then sort of pull them back into place, which is, again, not an issue. You just learn how to work with those things as you get used to wearing wigs. So that's sort of that. People are going to ask me, can I cut bangs into this wig? Let's take a look at that. Yes, I think you can cut bangs into this wig. Now, it doesn't have bangs, but it definitely has a good ability to lay forward. So if you wanted to cut a little bit of bang in here, I think you could. You know, there is a little bit of lift right here. Not a ton though, but a little bit. So if you were to find that that little bit of lift right there is causing bangs not to lay right, then just take a hot air brush to them and that should be fine. All right, let's talk about this color. I've kind of covered everything, fit, density, permatease, all of those things. So let's talk about this color, Laguna Blonde. This is a gorgeous, warm blonde. It has a pearl platinum highlight, which is the 102. The root is a 12, which is a light brown. Now, we've got a very blonde wig here. So this root appears darker than the color that they used. So they used a 12, that's the S12. 12 is the lightest brown you can have, and then you go to 14, which is a dark blonde. So they used the lightest brown that they could to give it a root. I think it's perfect. I think if they would have used any darker of a brown, it would be too dark of a root for the lightness of the color that we're dealing with. Let's take a look at this up close before we go outside. There is so much dynamic stuff going on with this color. You've got your pearl platinum highlights, which are super light, white, sort of running through it. And then you've got your 24, which is a golden blonde. 24 is a very common blonde used in a lot of wigs. There is a warm, kind of yellow toned blonde running through here. And then you've got your white platinum running through here. And then you've got your light brown root, and they did a great job of diffusing some of that color at the top. So you've got a little bit of diffusion going on there up at the root. So my impression of this one, it is kind of a yellow blonde. I kind of expected this to be a little bit less yellow. I don't know why. I definitely wanted to review it since I have not ever seen this color before. But my impression is it's kind of a golden, it's a little bit of a yellow blonde. It's definitely got platinum tones in it. But if you don't like yellow blondes, I probably wouldn't do this. This wouldn't be my first choice for you if you don't like yellow blondes. Because that's how it's coming across to me, as a little bit of a yellow blonde. Not bad blonde. It's a very beautiful color. But it's definitely not like Shaded Biscuit from Raquel Welch. Much whiter, less warm. Definitely doesn't have the same yellow tones that this one has. All right, everybody, let's get outside so you can see this color outside. Let me know if you have any questions about this one. I like it a lot. I think it is flattering. You know what it reminds me a little bit of? I just recently reviewed Claire by John Renau. This is Claire's shorter, lower density sister. That's what it reminds me of. It actually is, when I put Claire on, it was so much hair for me. I will link that review in the description so you can see it. I had almost wished it was more like this. Just a little bit shorter, a little bit less full. This to me is Claire's shorter, lighter sister. Totally. All right, guys, let's get outside. I hope this helped you, and I hope I covered everything you needed. But let me know in the description if I could have done something different or if I missed something, and I'll make sure to take note of that for future videos. I love you guys. Please come back in the future and watch another video. I'd sure appreciate it. All right, everyone, here we are outside. This sunlight is super bright. So you're getting bright, direct sunlight. No clouds in the sky, so I'm not able to, well, very few. So I'm really not able to get you cloudy looks, but take a look at that rooting. Get up kind of close to that. Lots of variety of tones, blonde tones in this color. A little bit of a wind out here. One last look at that rooting. Alright, guys, what a cute style. Thanks for watching.